two quarterbacks. They wanted us to pay attention. We got a reason to pay attention.
Yeah.
A lot of people believe that Shedeur Sanders could be that guy. He's polarizing guy off the football field. He does all the right things as far as being in the community and being present, especially with the youth. And if it all comes together on a football field, then man, that would be one hell of a story to have him be the franchise quarterback of it.
I don't hate you, my boy. You probably a good guy. But here's where we stop the ruckus. You're probably a great dude. You're doing your Hawaii dances, whatever it is you people do. Much love to the great Hawaiian people of Hawaii. But sometimes you guys cater to the opposing people who looks male. You guys are in love with me.
Dillon Gabriel showed up expecting to run installs and stack clean reps, not watch his entire storyline twist in real time. This stopped being just football fast. Pressure, pride, and perception all slammed together at once. One moment it's routine practice. The next, the energy feels tense, like a closed-door meeting without anyone saying a word. People started asking the question nobody wanted to say out loud. Did Shador Sanders really look that sharp? Or was Dillon struggling with what happens when the spotlight shifts away from you? If you're locked into this breakdown,
be tough on Dillon Gabriel. He's in a tough spot. The public social media favors Shedeur Sanders. He's going to have to fight the battle of public opinion where most people are going to be on Shedeur's side. Here's Shedeur and the cultural young icon he is. Here we are taking a picture as the rookies. The first pose they come up with is Shedeur's pose. Let me show you my rollie and put the wrist up. And how do you think Dillon Gabriel feels about that? He's like, wait, what are you guys doing? They're like, we're doing the Shedeur. So he's really got an uphill battle. So not only does Shedeur have the proverbial chip on his shoulder, and now Dillon Gabriel's got to deal with, wait, I was the guy that was drafted before Shedeur, and they're going to talk about Shedeur.
Make sure you subscribe to the channel because this situation is only getting louder and messier from here. Dillon Gabriel came into camp, focused and ready. Helmet strapped, cleats clean, confidence steady. He looked like the guy who was supposed to lead the room, the calm presence, the safe option. He carried himself like someone who believed the job was there for the taking. Then Shedeur Sanders stepped in and changed the entire temperature instantly. Calm, composed, and fully in control. Like he already knew how this chapter was supposed to go. No panic, no wasted motion, no nerves. Just command from the very first snap. It didn't take long before the contrast jumped off the field. Dillon wasn't just being outplayed. He was getting passed in momentum, presence, and energy. Two quarterbacks, one spotlight, and suddenly everyone knew exactly where to look. That quarterback room turned into must-watch content overnight.
Both the Browns' rookie quarterbacks are being positioned, in their opinion, to start games this upcoming season, but how each quarterback is on a completely different developmental path for the summer here. So they said Shedeur Sanders is the one being, quote, carefully nurtured in a controlled environment, and Dillon Gabriel is being, quote, thrown directly into the fire against the team's best defenders. So that's where we transition over to this article that says why Dillon Gabriel is getting first-team reps while Shedeur Sanders waits his turn. So they talk about Gabriel working with Flacco, Pickett, first teams, and Shedeur, like I said, often works with himself on a different field with the...
A lot of people already believed Shedeur Sanders could be that guy, polarizing away from football, sure, but locked in where it matters most. He stays visible in the community, connects with younger players, and carries himself like someone who understands the moment. When things click on the field, they click fast. That mix of confidence and performance only amplified the buzz with every rep he took. Meanwhile, Dillon was battling a tougher reality. New system, heavy expectations, and a fan base, dissecting every throw through short clips and reactions online. That's pressure most people never see, and right now he's wearing it. Public opinion doesn't sit in the middle. Online momentum clearly leaned toward Shedeur Sanders.
It's a very interesting situation. And again, here we go. Browns fans, we find ourselves in a situation where a player or two on the team can just completely divide the fan base. And one thing that I am getting sick and tired of already, and I'm going to bitch about this and fight people on this tooth and nail forever, it seems like. Just because I post something positive about Dillon Gabriel does not mean I hate Shedeur Sanders. And just because I post something about Shedeur does not mean I hate Dillon Gabriel. I actually believe that it's okay to support both rookies.
And that's not something you fix with numbers alone. Reports started circulating that both young quarterbacks were being seriously evaluated for real opportunities this season, and the competition was very real. But here's the part that made people pause. Shedeur Sanders was reportedly eased in with structured reps and controlled situations. Dillon, on the other hand, was getting tossed straight into the toughest defensive looks. Same destination, completely different paths. Now let's be clear. There's no lawsuit, no paperwork, nothing official on record. But the vibe felt uncomfortable, like football's version of a quiet HR meeting where everyone knows something is off. Whispers about fairness, reps, and pressure started floating behind the scenes. Shedeur Sanders practiced like someone who'd been waiting all offseason for this exact moment. This wasn't about competing politely. This was about taking space. Every throw felt intentional. Every decision looked confident. This wasn't regular practice energy. This was statement energy. Dillon transferred in expecting to be the experienced voice, the steady hand, the reliable option. But Shedeur Sanders wasn't here to split reps or play it safe.
Said Dillon Gabriel was looking better at practice than Shedeur Sanders, but they straight lied. Mind you just seen how he threw the ball, bro. He put all his effort into that throw, and it was only 20 yards down the field. Now, let me show you Shedeur Sanders, bro, somebody that's outplaying him by a mile, bro. It's not even close. Meanwhile, while Dillon Gabriel struggling, you feel me, Shedeur Sanders down the field looking like Tom Brady? You said he didn't have an arm? Like, bro, just look at the difference between him in the pocket, how poised he looks, how professional he looks.
He played like the system fit him perfectly, showing poise, sharp reads, confidence, and an arm that erased third and long stress instantly. What started as a competition began to look like a takeover. Shedeur Sanders turned the field into a stage and ran it like a one-man show. No easing in, no feeling out process, just control from snap one. Somewhere mid-session, Dillon realized he wasn't headlining the performance he expected. The throws weren't just clean, they were loud. Shedeur Sanders wasn't squeezing balls into tight windows, he was creating new ones. Quick releases, deep shots, sharp timing, and just enough flair to make one thing clear. This was all very intentional. Nothing official will ever come out and say it directly. But when conversations start drifting toward reps, pressure, and development paths, you already know what time it is. That's how these situations work when things stop feeling normal and start feeling tense. Somewhere behind the scenes, discussions started happening with people who don't wear cleats at all.
Comments telling me how Dillon Gabriel has this superb accuracy and how he has a higher QB IQ than Shedeur Sanders. Bring y'all asses back. So tell me, have y'all been watching the Cleveland Browns minicamp? And have y'all been seeing how Shedeur is out there running circles around Dillon? Have y'all been?
All because one quarterback made practice uncomfortable for the other. When folks start joking that the legal team needs game film instead of a playbook, you know the vibe has shifted completely. And here's the wild part. Shedeur Sanders wasn't even trying to embarrass anyone. He was just being himself, calm under pressure, sharp, accurate, smooth, never forcing anything and somehow still looking camera ready, even during conditioning drills. No finger pointing, no trash talk, no extra noise. He lined up and delivered touchdown after touchdown like it was a group project and he was the only one who actually did the work. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel looked like he was stuck staring at a frozen PowerPoint slide that refused to load. To be fair, the talent is there, and nobody's denying that. But Browns fans know this feeling too well. One or two players pop, the room shifts, and suddenly the fan base is split all over again. Then something happened that nobody could ignore. The receivers started gravitating toward Shedeur Sanders naturally. One rep with him and suddenly routes were sharper, cuts were cleaner, effort went way up. It felt like everyone knew the ball was coming exactly where it needed to be. With Dillon, the energy just felt different. Routes looked slower, like a rainy day workout where everyone's just trying to survive the session. No drama, no arguments. Just a contrast that spoke louder than any stat sheet ever could. That's when the whispers started. Could Dillon transfer again? Could he really sit through a full season knowing he's not QB1, not even QB-ish, just waiting for reps that might never come?
Shedeur Sanders has made his way to minicamp, and for some reason, I keep hearing that he's quarterback number 4. Y'all better get it together, dog, because just look at this connection, dog, and look how smooth it is, dog. Check that out, man. It's a starting quarterback right there in my eyes. And I mean, there's no hate against Dillon Gabriel. I mean, just look at this. They threw it to the same wide receiver, and guess who looks better? Shedeur Sanders. Not gonna lie to you, it's no glaze, none of that. I'm just keeping it real with you, dog. They can't have these two quarterbacks going in with two veteran quarterbacks there, dog. One gonna have to go. And
that kind of pressure messes with anyone, but here's the real issue. It wasn't just that Shedeur Sanders outplayed him. It was how he did it. With confidence, with swagger, with that unbothered energy that says, I've been here before, and I'm only leveling up. This wasn't a lucky practice or a fluke day. It was a full clinic, and Dillon had front row seats for every snap. By the time practice wrapped, the score wasn't on a scoreboard. It was written all over the faces of the players watching Shedeur Sanders operate. Even the defense walked off looking drained, like they'd been pushed through something heavier than a normal practice. Dillon was in the back, quiet, probably replaying reps in his head, realizing the gap felt way bigger than it did earlier that morning. And once the internet caught wind of it, that was it. Memes everywhere. Slow-motion edits of Shedeur Sanders throws flooding timelines. Threads treating this like a full-blown quarterback custody battle. One joke summed it all up perfectly.
Completely disagree with this comment. For starters, there was much more talent on the Oregon squad to lead them to undefeated. 5 people other than Dillon Gabriel were drafted this year from the Ducks. 2 tackles, 1 running back, 1 tight end, 1 receiver. Colorado had 3 other people go. All 3 Buffaloes drafted were receivers. Whose job is it to give the receivers the opportunity to catch the ball to get the stats? The quarterback. 2 of those 3 receivers wouldn't have been drafted if it weren't for Shedeur, Travis Hunter being the only exception. Shedeur Sanders was sacked 39 times this year. Now, you can blame that to him holding the ball for too long, but the O-line statistically ranked way worse than Oregon's.
You can have the short routes, Dillon. The deep shots belonged to Shedeur by day 3 of camp. At that point, Shedeur Sanders wasn't just a quarterback anymore. He became a full-on cultural moment. Practices didn't feel like practices, they felt like episodes. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel was trending, just not for reasons anyone wants their name attached to. So if Shedeur Sanders is already flipping the script and turning camp into headline material just by being confident, what happens when the real games start? Let's be real for a second. Dillon Gabriel's biggest competition isn't a stat sheet or a depth chart. It's momentum. You can't file paperwork against momentum. You definitely can't slow down a guy who just turned training camp into a full Netflix-style rollout. Shedeur Sanders isn't just giving QB1 vibes. He's the trailer, the teaser, and the premiere all at once. Unless someone invents a rule-limiting confidence backed by arm talent, this season could turn into a long stretch of sideline views, clipboard duty, and polite clapping from the background. And let's address the noise. There were people saying Dillon was outplaying Shedeur Sanders in practice.
So representatives for Dillon Gabriel reached out to me to try to give me a cease and desist order. I was willing and ready and rock and roll, ready to go to court. So I triple dare your representatives to take me to court. In fact, Dillon Gabriel, I want you, bitch boy, take me to court. Let's fast.
That take didn't age well at all, and everyone noticed it fast. What sounded confident early on started falling apart once the reps piled up and the film started circulating. Just when it looked like Dillon had accepted becoming background scenery in the Shedeur Sanders highlight reel, things took a sharp turn. Not a quiet reset, not a low-key PR move, no. Allegedly, the response shifted straight to the legal playbook because being outperformed didn't just feel frustrating anymore. It felt personal. Somewhere in an office, someone likely heard a sentence they never expected. Yes, I'm calling about getting outplayed in practice. And with that, every fear fans were trying not to say out loud rushed right to the surface. The arm strength gap, the slower reads, the pocket presence that never fully settled in. If stress was a measurable stat, Dillon would rank high, and that's the hardest part. He was trying. You could see it on every rep. The effort was real, the urgency was there, but effort doesn't always translate into results. And the gap kept showing up in clips, comments, and conversations online. People kept saying Dillon was more accurate, that he had the higher football IQ, but the film didn't back it up anymore, and fans weren't buying it. Now everyone's watching closely. Every shaky moment from Dillon somehow turns into extra buzz for Shedeur Sanders. Even people who wanted to doubt him are running out of reasons. You can only move the goalposts so many times before everyone notices. Suddenly, the narrative flipped. The same voices that hyped Dillon as a transfer portal savior started pulling back. Now it's, maybe he's just not built for this level.
Dillon Gabriel, you are a crybaby. Go cry in the corner. You want to storm off of the field because Shedeur, Mr. Legendary, you hear me? He beat you out to get the first team reps. You hear me? Understand, he started from 4th team reps, the 3rd team reps, the 2nd team reps. Now he first team reps. Yeah, you was recruiting all your little linemen and making your own little alliance. You hear me? Ain't no telling what you was telling them folks that was agreeing with the alliance with you. You hear me? But this is why the Browns
Funny how fast that changed. Because Shedeur Sanders didn't just outplay him, he exposed the ceiling. And Dillon's ceiling started looking like a reliable backup role with a great view of the field. The coaches aren't whispering anymore. They're locking eyes. The reporters aren't guessing. They're stacking clips. Even teammates are offering those supportive pats on the back that quietly say, "I see what's happening." And of course, the internet is having a field day. Someone even started a countdown titled, "Days Until Shedeur is Officially QB1." Loud, messy, dramatic. Just like the takeover itself. But rewind for a second, because in the middle of all this chaos, Shedeur Sanders isn't chasing hype. He's playing with effortless composure, no forced moments, no dramatic interviews, no quotes crafted to trend, just quiet dominance that speaks louder than anything else. He's that rare type of quarterback who doesn't hunt attention. The attention finds him.
Imagine there's many people that think Dillon Gabriel's a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. I don't care where they were drafted. If the Browns are the one team that thinks that, then I'm going to suspect it's not true. They don't know what they're doing.
They've been on every quarterback evaluation for 30 years.
Right.
I never root against anybody.
Yeah.
But I'd be surprised if Dillon Gabriel's ever a legitimate starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. I'd be surprised. I just don't think.
Well, then it is a wasted pick because you took him in the top 100.
Yeah, but potentially.
Yeah.
May get away with it because of
even when he's not on the field, the conversation circles right back to Shedeur Sanders. He's earning it snap by snap, and it's time to address the excuses head on. Some people tried to soften the conversation by saying Dillon Gabriel didn't have enough help in the past. That argument doesn't hold up. That Oregon roster had real talent. Multiple players got drafted. Plenty of weapons were on the field. This isn't about surroundings anymore. This is about who's ready right now. Shedeur Sanders didn't rush anything. He waited. He watched. He sharpened every tool in the box. And once those first team reps landed in his hands, it was a wrap. The offense doesn't just function with him under center, it thrives. Routes look cleaner. Timing snaps into place. Receivers move with urgency because they trust the ball is coming exactly where it should. Even the offensive line blocks with extra purpose. Like every snap actually matters. You can see it everywhere. Coaches smiling a little more, cameras lingering a little longer. Defensive coordinators already looking stressed. And here's the real kicker. Shedeur Sanders isn't just making plays. He's making statements. Every dime he drops chips away at the old narrative. All that "he's just someone's son" talk fades fast. The doubt disappears. The lazy takes vanish. This isn't just college-level good. This is NFL scouts quietly taking notes. Good.
Well, you didn't tell me the 144th pick, 5th round QB is outplaying Dillon Gabriel? Ain't nowhere in the world that's happening. It's happening. We're all witnessing and seeing it. Live and direct. We're all seeing it. But we're all seeing what we knew. This don't surprise us. Dillon Gabriel, I'm not knocking his game, but he's not even... Do you see him? Have you seen him stand beside Shedeur? Have you? Have you? Because I have. And that's very important. Very important. You want your QBs to see over the line of scrimmage. Just letting y'all know that. To my next point. All this fanfare and hate for the Sanders family. And folks don't realize you walk right into...
The poise is there, the football IQ is there, and that clutch gene shows up every time it matters. The kind of confidence that makes you believe he can convert 3rd and long under any conditions. Pressure doesn't shake him, it sharpens him. And now even the loudest critics are hesitating. They wanted him to stumble. They needed him to struggle. Instead, he leveled up. Every rep became a lesson. Every read tightened. Every snap carried weight. This stopped feeling like a competition a while ago. Now it feels like some people are pretending it still is just to delay the obvious, like someone lost a bet and doesn't want to admit it yet. Every pass Dillon throws feels like borrowed time when Shedeur Sanders is on the field. Every snap from Shedeur feels like confirmation. A billboard-sized message sent loud and clear. You don't need a coach to announce QB1. The team already knows, the fans know. And deep down, Dillon probably knows too. That's why the chatter even entered the conversation in the first place. It's not about fairness. It's about delaying the cold truth. Because when Shedeur Sanders steps onto the field, the game changes instantly. And at that point, it doesn't matter who shows up prepared, experienced, or confident. When Shedeur takes control, it's game over for whoever is standing in front of him.